Hey y'all, iRickSky here, back again with another drone field test video. Now you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order the Mavic Mini online, as well as all the other drones too. But actually using my old Mavic Air case for this, but you can find the Mavic Mini case linked within this video's description. Like all my field tests, if you've been a subscriber for a while, you know that I take a new drone out into the field with minimal expectations. This obviously is a production version of the Mavic Mini, meaning that it's not a pre-release drone. There's a lot of, you've seen the videos, people that have a drone before it's even out. This is the production version, meaning that this should provide a realistic expectation for what the Mavic Mini should be able to do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and fly this thing for the first time. It's worth mentioning I have not even powered on this drone. All that I've done is charge the battery, and I've charged the controller battery, and I've inserted a micro SD card. So, taking it out of the little case, you've got the if you're familiar with the Mavic Air or the Mavic 2 Pro, see this pops out, popping the rear out, popping the other rear out, or the fronts rather, and then I'm doing the rear, the two rear, and see now I've got everything expanded there, extended, or whatever you want to call it. So there it is, and we're going to have to obviously take off the camera protector or gimbal protector, whatever you want to call it. I do apologize in advance if my audio breaks up. I am using a wireless microphone solution, and I don't anticipate interference, but again, it's possible. So if my commentary cuts off, it's because I ran into interference, and just wanted to give you a forewarning there. Hopefully I'll be able to narrate the entire experience. So there it is right there, the little camera on the front. And let's see, I'm gonna put that away. We're gonna go ahead and get the controller ready. Let me put the Mavic Mini down for a second. So the controller is right here. I'm just gonna pop this out. I am an iPhone user, so I brought my lightning style connector that came with it. You can see that right there. So I'm going to stick this end into here, and then the other end obviously into the iPhone. So I'm works with a variety of iPhones. Expand this video's description and then click the link there to find detailed specs and where to order the Mavic Mini. But I'm using a, whoa, I just hit my microphone, dude. It's on my belt, see? I got my lavalier cable going into it because I'm professional. So got that on there, and we're going to put the phone in. Curiously enough, I am going to try this in the inside of the phone's case. So that's, I don't know if this is going to fit. This is one of the smaller iPhones, so maybe it will. I hate having to make my iPhone naked before I fly a drone. Surprisingly enough, it did fit inside of this iPhone case. And I've linked this iPhone case within this video's description too. And a lot of people are like, man, why do you keep saying video description? Because I want y'all to know what I'm using so you have the opportunity to shop for and or purchase the same type of equipment. And the easiest way to do that is check the link within the video's description because it takes you to the appropriate page on my website. So let's see, I'm plug this in here. Okay, that plugged in, so I'm physically connected. The controller is physically connected to the phone. Now, before I came out here, I did download the app. It is worth mentioning that this app is a different app than the previous app. So the app that I used to fly my Mavic 2 Pro is not the same. This is called the DJI Fly app. So I just launched DJI Fly app. I've got to turn on the drone, power on the drone. So let's see, I haven't even powered this on yet. So where's the power switch? There it is on the bottom. So I'm going to push this. Got a little visual indication that it is powering on. The gimbal is initializing. So we're going to take this over to its launch pad. Curiously enough, I'm using the same drone landing pad that I've used for many of my other drones. They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's the case. It's been working fine, so I'm going to stand over here so you can see me. I've still got my little audio meter. This microphone's working, that's good. So let's see, we're gonna do connect aircraft, power on, take out and install the control sticks. Okay, I did that. And RC not connected to, oh, I failed to power on my controller. So you know it's important, don't just power on the drone, power on the controller. And actually that was an oversight because I've been flying the Mavic 2 Pro with smart controller, and it's kind of gotten me, you know, where I don't have that extra piece. I just power on the smart controller. Okay, so we're gonna do this here. Connect aircraft. Aircraft activation required. So you got to go through all this legal mumbo jumbo to activate. That's one disappointing aspect about drones, even though this thing falls underneath the, and again, a lot of countries check your local regulations, and now I've got an update, 39 meg update. So I should have a pretty fast cellular internet connection here. So it says downloading. It says Mavic Mini version 1.0. Actually, let's cancel that and let's save that for a future video. I've got one battery at the time of filming this. Let's go ahead and get airborne with the current firmware, and then we'll do a follow-up review with the upgraded firmware. So this is the firmware out of the box. We're going to click Go Fly. And it says update required. Oh, it's making you update. So there's no option because I bypassed the update and I said go fly, and it said no, you got to update. So I guess we're stuck into this, and you know, I don't like to edit these videos, but you know, I may actually, depending upon how long this takes, I may have to fast forward. Okay, so it says the update's completed successfully. Again, that was version 01.00.0200. Again, it didn't provide me the option of doing it later. So it's completed. It says update successful. When aircraft automatically powers off, restart the aircraft. So I restarted the aircraft, and now I'm going to close this. And I guess it didn't say to restart the controller. So now I'm going into the app. I'm skipping the beginner tutorial. I don't want that. And let's see. So I think it's going to make me restart the controller too. Because it was saying something about aircraft firmware within the app, and I bet that's probably the controller's firmware. Curiously enough, it didn't specify, it didn't state rather, I'm just checking to make sure I'm recording here, and I still am. It didn't state that the controller was being updated, but I'm assuming, again, an assumption, that it may have. Okay, it says now it's calibrating here. SD card, I'm going to format. Obviously it's a micro SD card, but it just says SD card in the app. So format the SD card. I'm going to, it's saying there's magnetic objects, so I'm going to have to calibrate the drone here. Compass calibration. So again, this is the first field test. You know, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I did pause the video because of the download delay, but it says keep clear of metal objects and ensure the distance between the aircraft and ground is 1.5 meters. Keep the aircraft powered on and avoid. So we're going to do start. It doesn't specify direction. It just says 360. And then we're going to do vertically on 360. Calibration successful, it says. Now it says status normal, so it did need a calibration, which is expected. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go. Okay, we formatted. And now what I'm trying to do is figure out within this app interface how to back up. So I just tapped on the side, the black screen part. We're down to 91% battery thanks to that required firmware update. We're going into, let's see, this test. I just want to make sure I've got the video settings here. See if I've got a setting for 2.7K or if it's, let's see. This app is a little bit different. So you got to select video mode. Okay, I selected video mode. I'm going to do 30 frames per second, 2.7K. So 30 frames per second, 2.7K is the maximum video quality that this drone, at least for the current firmware, will allow. So without further ado, I'm at 90% battery. Again, it was fully charged, but I encountered that, you know, the firmware update. So you can see in the app right there, you can see what I see. So that's the drone's view. And we're going to hit record within the app. Okay, so now the video should be recording at 2.7K 30. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the field of view here so you can see this thing take off. Actually, if I stand over here, yeah, you can see the drone and you can see me. So we're going to do the standard procedure, which is doing that, and that works. I have not adjusted the gimbal wheel speed, so it'll be interesting to see what the default wheel speed settings are. For starters, I'm going vertically. I'm taking off vertically at a slow rate of speed. While you're watching this video, just pay attention to the video quality. Obviously, the video of me, face on video is in 4K. So I've embedded this 2.7K video within a 4K video project. There's a mild amount of wind. We'll see how this handles with a mild amount of wind. You know, it is a smaller and lighter drone. So kind of curious about that. I'm going to come to a complete stop. And I noticed I'm in meters instead of feet. So I want to switch, while that's hovering there, I want to switch to meters. Because I've switched to imperial. So there's got to be a setting for that in here somewhere, I would think. Again, slightly different app interface, not bashing the app interface, but okay, there it is, units, imperial. Check out my website, Epic Drone Show, because I'm going to have a ton of tutorials. So we're at 78 feet. Let's ascend to a safe and responsible altitude. So we're at 127 feet right now. Obviously maintaining visual line of sight to be safe and responsible. Now we're going to rotate, see how this camera handles a rotation, see what the video quality looks like. Again, this is not 4K. This is 2.7K. I tell you, the video camera on the Mavic 2 Pro is incredible. So, you know, my expectation out of the box is that this probably won't even come close to that quality. But if I can get acceptable quality, even though it's not 4K, you know, maybe this footage will at least be usable within my 4K video project, such as this one. This is a 4K video project, the face on camera portion. So now let's ascend to a safe altitude and see what the detail in the water looks like. So okay, that's as high as, we're not going to go any higher. I'm at 256 feet. Now we're going to fly sideways at a high rate of speed. 17.6 miles per hour to be exact. So, you know, just curious about this detail. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction. The sun is over there. The sun is behind the camera, in case you're wondering, if you couldn't figure it out because of the shadows. So now we're up there, and it's doing really well. Now let's bring it down and kind of get some closer to ground detail. You know, how well or how poorly does this camera perform when it's closer to the ground? Again, I keep repeating this, but it's 2.7K, and I don't consider that to be a negative if it can still perform acceptably. And that's, you know, that's what y'all are determining. You know, y'all are watching this video, like all my drone videos, I go edit and, you know, I don't have unrealistic expectations. I just take it out in the field and see what it can do. But I can already tell you, and I remember I told you the battery life percentage when I first started. And this thing, even at, okay, let's see, we're gonna kind of go into the sun now. So the sun, it's facing away from the sun. Let's see how the camera handles the sun. So now we're gonna go towards the sun. Battery life is still at an impressive 77%. So I mean, that blows my mind. So you can see the lens flare from the sun now. But how does it handle it? How does it compensate for it? Again, this is an autofocus, so there's no manual focus going on. And that's another thing I'm curious about with this. You know, how well or how poorly does the autofocus handle? So to test that, what we're going to do, we're going to come up on me at a low altitude here, and we're going to see. We haven't done the gimbal wheel speed test yet. We're going to test that in a minute too. But we're going to come towards me and just see what kind of detail we can pick up. Now I'm standing in the shade here, see? So there I am. So we're going low to the ground now, seeing how well or how poorly it performs. So yeah, this camera's been recording for 5 minutes and 18 seconds. We've still got an outstanding 73% battery life remaining per the app. So that is pretty sweet. See, there's the sun through the trees there. Let's look at the sun and kind of gimbal wheel up. Okay, so this is in the upwardmost position. The camera right now is upwardmost position. Let's gimbal wheel down. I'm gonna do max speed. So I haven't adjusted the defaults. So that's maximum speed up. And then we'll go back to maximum speed down. See, you can kind of throttle it. So see, watch that again. So if I push all the way, it's going maximum speed. And the same in the other situation. If I push all the way, it's going maximum speed. But even without adjusting the gimbal wheel speed, and I'm hoping that's a setting within this app, I haven't explored it yet. Again, this is my first flight. But see, I can just barely push down and go slowly without having to adjust the gimbal wheel speed. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, it's shining at the sun right now, and there I am. So let's go back that way. Now we're going to kind of gimbal wheel speed down while we're going up. The shadows, the grass, you know, look at the details. What do you see? I mean, is this good? Is this, I mean, again, and I keep saying it, but it's not 4K. You know, this video, when you're watching it, this face on video is 4K, and this drone video I've embedded within the 4K video project, but the drone's recording at 2.7K. So, you know, is it convincing enough quality to be something that I should be using on Irish Guys Adventure channel? You know, I'm all about quality and providing the best drone videos in the world. So, you know, is this quality acceptable? And how close in comparison to the Mavic 2 Pro is it? I mean, is it grossly different? Is it grossly inferior? Is it something that we'd be like, man, you know, that's so small, so lightweight, and so affordable. You know, Mavic, look at that lens flare. That's kind of cool. Is it so small, so lightweight, and so affordable that this might be a better option than the Mavic 2 Pro? I mean, the Mavic 2 Pro is outstanding. But, you know, how smooth is this? You know, as I'm flying low to the ground, how smooth is it? I mean, this video, and again, like all my first field test videos, this video is for y'all to watch and just see the entire experience, you know, no filter. You saw I had to update the firmware. I did pause the video for that, I'll admit, but that's the only time the video's been paused. And let's bring this thing close to the camera here, and let's test a smoothness of hover. That's something I always like to do with my drones. So we're still at 61% battery, so maybe, since I've only got one battery currently, maybe we'll Let's see, let's bring it over here. Maybe we'll have plenty of time to play here. Let's see. Okay, so there it is. I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer. So there you can go. You can see my hands are off the sticks. That is minimal fluctuation. You know, I was thinking with this drone that there may be more fluctuation while hovering. And that is a very smooth hover right there. I mean, look at that. Super smooth. Pretty quiet too. You know, this drone doesn't make the noise that like a lot of the others have. So let's go up. Let's go down. And that is cool. Let's watch the little gimbal wheel here. I'm going to take the gimbal wheel down, so you'll see the camera going down. And now you'll see the camera going up. Battery life is still at an impressive, and I mean super duper impressive, 57%. 57% battery life remaining. So let's go ahead and take this thing back out that way. And we're at 56% battery life now. Obviously something that I never do to be safe and responsible is do a range test. I don't do range tests. People have asked me that, dude, why don't you do a range test? I'll do a range test, visual line of sight, and I've got visual line of sight with the drone. You know, it's all about drone safety, because if we're not safe and responsible drone pilots, this hobby will not continue to exist, and that would be a miserable day. So yeah, we don't want to, look at that, look at the sun. That's cool. See, I can go this way, get the lens flare. That is cool. Yeah, I mean, we want to be responsible drone pilots so this hobby can continue to exist. And this is just, again, this is just my first Mavic Air, I almost called it Mavic Air. This is my first Mavic Mini video. And I can tell you, this thing has already, the flight dynamics and the video stability seems to be outstanding within the app view. What I'm most curious about while still flying this is how good is this 2.7K video gonna look? And again, I keep reiterating that because, you know, all the videos on my channel, except an occasional live stream or something, all the videos on my channel are 4K. And again, this video that you're watching is presented in 4K because I've embedded it within a 4K video project. But again, the camera's filming at 2.7K. But, you know, is it acceptable? You know, that's the big question. And, you know, it's y'all that are watching this and you're still tuned in after, I've been flying this thing now for about I've been recording for about 11 minutes and 38 seconds. And let's see, let's take this thing up. And again, safe and responsible altitude. But let's take it up to, let's see, we're at 194 feet right now. Oh, did you see those birds? I saw them in the view. Wow, those birds came after it. They were up a little bit above 240 feet. And that could have been a disappointing experience. So, yep, now we're up at, and again, I don't like to even get close to the max. I'm going to stop at 352 feet to be safe and responsible. Again, emphasizing drone safety. It's what Epic Drone Show is all about. And again, you know, just to remind y'all, just expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order the Mavic Mini and all the other drones online as well. But this thing, first impressions in the field while I'm still filming, I'm still at 44% battery life remaining. And it's not just the battery life that excites me about this, it's the fact that when I need to recharge this battery, and why they didn't go with USB-C, I don't know. Not that it matters, it uses a micro USB to recharge, but it's convenient because you don't have to deal with lugging around a special charger. I mean, I use a micro USB or a USB-C for, you know, for my, what am I trying to say, for my cameras, my Sony Alpha. So, you know, the fact that it is micro USB instead of USB-C is not a big deal. So, yeah, I mean, this thing is This thing is rock solid. We're going to bring it back over here. 40% battery life remaining. I've been recording this video for 13 minutes and, well, 14 minutes now. And again, this is after having to go through all that firmware update. So I told you the battery percentage when I started, and it was not 100, it was 100% before I started the firmware update, but you know, it wasn't 100% then. So I mean, this thing is, this is impressive. I mean, it really is. And you know, like I said, the only video at the time of posting this video, look at that lens flare. It kind of looks cool. The only video that I posted for the Mavic Mini so far was my unboxing. And you know, you saw them you probably heard if you've watched my unboxing video. If you haven't, check it out. But you know, I was commenting about the build quality of the drone. I mean, it's definitely very light. It's small and lightweight. But I was wondering, you know, out of the box, the propellers, they felt a lot like the Paradonofis propellers. So I was wondering if it might have any sort of performance issues. But from what I'm seeing within the app, you know, I'm not seeing anything that suggests degraded flight dynamics, you know, due to the propellers and the extremely small size and extremely lightweight. So, you know, I think, see, we're going to start bringing this down. It says strong wind warning. Strong wind, fly with caution. Well, we're cautious. We're over a field with nothing in it. So why don't we see how the wind might impact this negatively? Okay, we got wind. We're at 238 feet. Let's just let it hover. So in a smooth hover at 240 feet, the camera is fully upright. You know, looking at the drone from this distance, I don't see any fluctuation, visible fluctuation. And from the camera, it looks like it's pretty rock solid too. So, you know, the ability to handle wind. Now, I wouldn't expect this to be able to handle stronger wind like a Mavic 2 Pro or an older model Phantom could. But, you know, I mean, there's a decent gust. I can feel it. I didn't bring my anemometer, but I mean, it's, this thing is holding up. And the battery is still at 30% remaining. And again, that's, you know, I had the firmware update, and I mean, this thing is just it's a boss. It really is. So, yeah. Let's see, let's bring this sucker down. 28%. Yeah, I mean, I'm blown away so far. But again, it's the video quality. You know, is this going to be acceptable? Only being 2.7K. And that's going to be the big test for me. So here comes a good gust of wind. Let's let off the stick. See what it does. See, I want to show you there's wind blowing. It's pretty strong. See, look at that. I mean, it's picking up now. See this leaf right here? Watch this. I mean, it's blowing. But the drone is handling its own. Man. Again, first field test with the Mavic Mini, and I'm just having a blast. Look at that sun. At least I'm seeing it in the app. It's kind of wicked the way that looks. %. Let's see what my camera's at here. I wonder if this, 22 minutes. I don't know if this Sony that I'm using now has the 29-minute hard stop or not. So we're at 22% battery remaining. And, I mean, this thing is still, it's still going along. That is awesome. Now again, this is just my first field test, so I'm not going to test all of the other features. We're going to come out here and really thoroughly test this. Now it turned red. It says low battery, and that's at 20%. So Let's see if it starts to quickly go down in battery percentage. There's a car going by. There's another car. They're like, dude, there's a drone, man. There's a drone out there. That's what they're thinking. Let's see, here comes another car. Oh, this car's coming after me. Oh no. He may be an anti-drone person, or he may not. Let's see. We could go harass, but that would be rude. I think I'll just go this way and see what goes on. Yeah, I did get confronted one time out here by somebody that was anti-drone. And okay, low battery, return to home. You want to see how return to home works? Let's see. We're gonna do confirm. It's doing a return to home. So it's coming this way. And there's an abort option for return to home. Battery life is 15% remaining. So let's see what how the return to home procedure functions here. So it's let's see, it says landing. Now if it lands on that pad, if it looks like it's not going to, I'm going to abort because I don't want to break a propeller, even though I have spares. But you know, hands off controller, let's just see what happens here. I did a cancel landing because it looked like it was a little bit off. So let's manually land it. Okay, 11% battery life remaining. I'm going to stop the recording of the drone, and we're going to kind of have a post-flight first impressions. So actually I'm going to roll another video for the thoughts after the initial flight. So if you haven't picked up this drone, expand this video's description and then click the link there, and you can find where to order it online, or just go to epicdroneshow.com and you can find it there as well. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. And tell me what you think within the comment section below, because again, this was my first flight with the Mavic Mini. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.